It's a little bit foggy at the Farmers Insurance Athletic Complex today, but the season's looking bright for your Davenport football team. Hi, everyone. I'm Rick Murphy here at the football field. The spring practice wrapping up. We're going to do a little segment today where we talk to some different players and coaches about spring ball in the upcoming season. We start on the offensive line with Armony Baskin, the grad student, terrific part of this offensive line. And Armani, this offensive line is a strength. Coach says, tell us about what the strength of this offensive line is.
It's really how we all are bonding together. It started when we got back here in the winter. We already knew what the standard was and wanted to just keep building off of that. So we started competing. We want to push each other to be the best that we can be. And out here on that field, that's what we're doing.
Second team All-GREAC last year, you're going to be focused on even upping that this game. How do you up your game personally, Armani?
Just continue focusing on dominating that line of scrimmage. And on top of that, relying on my guys. I trust them with all my heart, and I trust that they will lead me to wherever I need to be, and I'll lead them to where they need to be.
The offensive line needs to be cohesive, of course. That means not only on the field, but off the field. What are you and your offensive line to do to build that cohesiveness?
We try to find days where we get some good grub in, probably find a spot to grill out or something like that, or find a nice diner, get some great food, and just bond on that time.
Armani's a business major. He's actually started his own company, clothing line. Tell us about that and what you hope to do with that in the future.
Oh, yeah, so I created Shine with clothing. All that is some good streetwear that you can wear, and go be nice, good quality, and stuff like that.
All right, what are you going to do this summer to get ready for the fall, Armani?
Keep getting that running in, keep getting that, weightlifting with the guys, and then, spend time with them, keep building up that team chemistry, and,
offensive lineman, All-GREAC performer, Armony Baskin. Third-year performer, quarterback Max VandenHout, redshirt junior. Max, you've had 3 years in the program. What have you learned about the college game, about yourself?
Yeah, just taking the next step from high school to college, just speed of the game, and the physicality, strength part of it, obviously. After 3 years, I've grown with the boys team anyways, helped build the culture,
Challenging for the number one quarterback spot, obviously, is something you want to get. What do you have to do this summer to get that number one spot?
Yeah, just kind of work as hard as I can. That goes up. Just build teammates around me, make everyone better, not including myself. If I only get better, no one else is better, then we won't be too good of a football team. So you just got to keep getting better as a team, working with the running backs, working with the wide receivers, the O-line, all that kind of stuff, building some off-the-field.
From the offensive standpoint, what's been the focus this spring? What are you working on the most to change or improve from last year?
Yeah, just kind of seeing the field a little bit better, watching film, slowing the game down overall, just get a better view of the field and things like that.
Quarterbacks often talk about building that chemistry with the receiver. Is there a new receiver in the program this year that's kind of popped up? What's your intention to keep an eye on this guy?
Yeah, no, we've got a few new transfer receivers that came in, freshmen that are stepping up big time. Back, I love going to him. He's the guy. Henry and Drew, they came in as well as transfers, stepping up big time, making some plays. So I enjoy cool dudes off the field as well, so I enjoy it.
Max VandenHout is a finance major. What are you looking to do with that degree when you're done here at Davenport?
Yeah, just stepping into a sales role or something like that. Also, potentially coaching, something I've always wanted to be a part of. So really kind of focus on football right now and want to do that stuff in my life.
Maybe come back and help me in the bridge too.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, Max VandenHout, quarterback for your Davenport Panthers. On the defensive side of the ball, we can call the next guest Mr. Excitement, because I tell you what, Markell Gilford applied plenty of excitement to your Davenport team last year, including a 68-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown and a 100-yard school record interception return for a touchdown. The redshirt junior from Detroit joins us right now. Big year for you last year. You had to feel pretty good about how you played last year.
I think I played pretty good. If it wasn't my teammates, my D-line, my linebackers, I wanted to had a perfect season like I did, but we came up short, and the only thing that mattered was winning.
Of course, it's all about improvement. Where do you have to get better, do you think, Markell, from your game right now?
Me personally, I think, I think as a team, I think we were evolving real good. I think we pretty much put all the pieces together. I think we're improving. We got something coming from.
What are you going to do individually this summer to work on your own individual skills improvement?
I'm going to be up here every day in the summer, working on getting it in, day in, day out.
Who's been your role model as a player or as a person, coming up from Detroit through River Rouge High School and that? Is there somebody that you really look up to that kind of helped you show the way?
I just got to get all the way to God. Role model, I take in a lot from a lot of other people and people who's younger than me. I'm never just like nonsense to information to people that want to give me. So it's just like a lot to take in. I take information, I take it all in from anybody, any age, don't really matter.
One of the leaders of this team now is the redshirt junior. What do you have to do to show the younger guys the leadership that's on your shoulders now?
Pretty much to step up. Like my coach asked me to step up and learn me as a person and how I am. I know I can be, kind of in the shadows, be quiet sometimes, but just moving forward, I'm just trying to step up, be more spoken loud, real vocal, and just be a good role model for them.
You're a business major. What do you want to do with that degree once you're finally done with Davenport here?
I want to get into real estate. I've been studying it a little bit, getting the ins and outs. That's just what I really want to get into, like after, with that degree.
Markell Gilford from Detroit, defensive back. From the Windy City of Chicago, linebacker Latrell Scott, redshirt senior, leading tackler on this team last year. You were all over the ball. How did you assess your season last year?
I think last year was a pretty good season, but my standard is so high. That's true that I really like it. And I think team, they put me in situations where I could be great, but I think that was just the tip of the iceberg.
Where do you get that high standard from? Who set that bar for you to reach high?
Honestly, I would say Coach Walker. Coach Walker, hard-working dude. Nobody will outwork him. He's a leader. And he always striving to be the best.
70 total tackles, 4 TFLs. What do you got to do to get the TFLs up this year?
I think it's being more aggressive, triggering downhill, trusting my guys. I know that this year, my D-line will open them gaps up for me to trigger and create more opportunities that I didn't have last year.
Redshirt senior now, you're one of the leaders on this team. How do you show leadership to the young guys just coming into the program now?
I would say just leading by example, being more vocal. I've been here 5 years, so I picked up other standards and what to expect. So I always try my best to pick the young guys up. Just myself, be a good role model.
Coming up in Chicago, is there a coach that stood out that really kind of maybe shaped you as a player, and maybe as a person, one particular coach back in high school or even before that?
I was with two coaches. One of my high school coaches, Coach Davenport, and when I first started playing football, my coach, his name is Coach McEwen.
Your sport management major, Latrell, what do you hope about doing with that degree when you're done with Davenport, please?
I'm crazy. I'm going to get my degree, but I might take a turn, and I've been thinking about doing the police academy.
That's fantastic. Where did that idea come from?
It was just something like some of the older guys that I know that played football and got into police work after. It's just something like a job that keep me moving and active.
You'd be a great fit for that, I think. Good luck to that.
Thank you.
Latrell Scott, linebacker. Linebacker Cash Ruff joins us right now from Granville High School. Had an outstanding high school career, a quarterback and a defensive back. Now you became a linebacker, and once you got to the college game, talk about that transition to linebacker. What was the most challenging part for you?
Well, I feel like the most challenging part was just seeing the entire offense on the field as of coming from playing offense. I could see what the defense was doing every play, but now transitioning to seeing what the offense does every play and being a defender.
Tell us about your redshirt year. You've been playing the game your whole life. Then you got to sit and watch, knowing you're not playing in the games. Tell us about that and what you learned from it.
Sitting behind all the seniors that I had my freshman year, we had a pretty stacked room. We had probably 5 seniors playing ahead of me. Just learning, developing that whole year, getting knowledge from all those guys was a great help to me.
What are you going to work on this summer to improve your game for the fall?
The summer is going to be a huge development summer for me and the entire team. We have a new strength coach coming in, giving us a a lot of work over the summer. It's going to be a good summer for us and the whole team.
Any particular area of your body you're working on with the strength?
I'm physically working on my upper body and then trying to work on my speed on my lower half.
You're a Lions fan. What are your prospects, do you think, for the Lions this year?
I really think we need to go out and get a couple of defenders, maybe some DBs. Need those.
Or a linebacker from Davenport?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, tell us about your major, Cash, and what you're thinking about doing maybe after your Davenport days.
I'm currently doing sports management, hoping to be a coach or going into recruiting and being an agent, some sort like that.
If you coached, you're looking at the high school or college level coaching, do you think, right now?
I would really like to get started maybe in the high school level, and then if I got my opportunity to be a college coach, that would be great.
Who's your best friend on the team, and what do you like to do away from the game?
I would say my best friend on the team, Xavier Davis. He's been my roommate since freshman year. We like to go to the weight room in the sack all the time and just get a lift in together.
Linebacker Cash Ruff. After a lengthy period returning to Davenport, offensive coordinator Sam Parker this year comes in returning after he was a grad assistant under Coach Esposito way back in our first year. That seems like a lifetime ago, Sam.
It certainly does. It was, 2015. This facility was not built. We were in trailers off on the side, half the size of a staff, coaching all freshmen. And to see what this program has turned into is unbelievable. I left here and went up to my alma mater in Big Rapids, Michigan, and had to scout and prepare for you guys for 9 years when I was up there. And Davenport is one of the 3 programs in the GLIAC to make the playoffs in that span. It's just an incredible job that Coach McEwen's done here, and very fortunate and blessed to be able to join the staff.
Let's talk about those 8 years at Ferris State, your alma mater. Certainly the championship mentality there, winning conference titles, winning national titles. What did you carry over from that you try to impart on these guys about winning?
I would say the competitive mentality, that championship mentality, and our physicality. We never walked out on a field and thought we were ever going to get out physicaled, and we always thought that if we had the ball or if we had time on the clock, we were going to win. And that was a constant theme, whether it was in the weight room, the classroom, or on the field. That's how we rolled. And Coach Anise has done a tremendous job up there. I've known him since the year 2000. My dad worked with him when he was at Muskegon High School. I was his ball boy back in the day. So being a part of that and seeing those state championships and my brother winning one and having that, that constant drive to achieve that, and then being around a guy that can teach it, I was a sponge, and I'm hoping to bring a bit of that here, and especially with our offense. With
that offense, you're going to blend with Sparky's mentality. What do you hope to bring as far as a style of offense that fans can look forward to this fall?
We're going to be an explosive offense. And we're going to be dynamic. And I really, really believe that you win games with players and get them the ball. It's that simple. So we want to create matchups, one-on-one matchups with our best guys that we feel like they can win. And how we do that is through teaching concepts, not plays, teaching alignments and motions that create distortion for the defense. I could tell you this, after doing this for 15 practices here, our defense is they have just gone miles and miles and miles. They are a very tough defense that we get to go against every day, and because they're seeing this kind of chaotic offense, this rage offense, they're getting a lot better, and they're making it very tough to move the ball.
And finally, Sam, just before we tape this, you met with your quarterbacks after the end of spring practice. The last time you're going to be. What did you try to impart on them as they go off now for the rest of the spring and summer?
The big thing with those guys, and I've been around, Harlan Hill winning quarterbacks, quarterback that almost went to the Natty and up for the will be a Heisman finalist this next year, and a lot of great players. And I'm telling them, and telling everybody, the ceiling that these guys have is right there. But the difference is that consistency. So we need to be consistent every day with football. And we need to get out of and get back to neutral and into this performance zone where we can focus on what we got to do versus sitting in daydreaming or nightmare fuel mode. And if we can do that, we've got a bunch of dudes that can roll at quarterback. I'm very pleased with this group. Very pleased.
Panthers are lucky to have offensive coordinator Sam Parker back again. As always, our final segment of our spring football wrap-up is with head coach Sparky McEwen. Sparky, just finished your final spring practice of the year. Tell us about what you saw from this squad in terms of what you hope to get this spring and what you actually saw on the field and in practices.
Well, for us, Rick, I always tell guys it's about player development. When you think of spring ball, you think about winter ball. You want to get your guys that were here for freshmen. You want to get them into January, into your weightlifting program. Then you want to get your young, vets a lot of burn here, for the spring. And we were able to do that. And getting those young guys in, that's important, because this is the player development piece for us. And it's more important than anything that we do actually when it comes to our schemes.
You told me earlier this spring that you feel really good about both of your lines. Tell us about that.
Yeah, going in, you get a good gauge and feel for what you're going to do the next year when you look in the box. Already, I feel good about the defensive line. We were pretty light, in that position area. But if you take a look at our roster, we've really gone to another level with our size in there. And then on the offensive line, we pretty much returned everyone there. And that's important. That makes you feel better than anything, knowing that you're going to have veterans on both sides of the ball that can help you in the GLIAC play.
It's not often, you've had it a couple of times, but it's not often you get two running backs like that with Cephas Harris and Caden Collins. It's a great 1-2 punch to go into a season with.
It is. And not only do we have those two, but Asher. Asher, he's one that, he was our number 3 last year, but Asher could be a lot of number 1s, for other teams, So having a veteran backfield like that, that's going to be huge. Obviously returning Cephas is super important to us. He was the first team All-GLIAC performer. And then KC, here's a guy that, as a utility guy, he could play receiver, as you see, and he could play in the backfield. So both of those kids we're counting on highly. And, we, in order for this team, this offense to go, both of those guys are going to have to be highly productive.
You just met with the guys as a group for the last time this spring, for this school year, really, to have them all there together. What did you tell them, and what do you hope they accomplish from now until the start of fall practice?
Well, the first thing coming out of spring was let's hope that we were, relatively healthy. I feel like we did that. We may have lost a guy or two, but we think we're going to get them back for the fall. The second piece of this is the summer is really, really important for your player developmental piece. Where lifting, conditioning, it's so important if you guys want to have a successful year. And it's always player-led. These guys know that, due to NCAA rules and how that whole thing works, player-led teams are the best teams. And we feel like we're in a really good place with our culture here, for football. And, last year our attendance for summer, man, it was – I mean, we don't have an exact number, but I could tell you this here. From what I understand, we had a tremendous amount of guys that stuck around, just for our strength and conditioning piece. And that's what good programs do, and so we're excited about that. And then obviously for us, we're going to wrap up the academic year. This is a football program that's been over a 3-point average over the last 2 years, and we hope to continue that. Coach
Sparky McEwen wrapping up the spring practice here. Fall will be here before you know it. 3 straight home games to start the 2026 season for Davenport. Thanks for joining. I'm Rick Berkey. Go Panthers.